Okay, so we're back to do another live stream for KSP. This is GeoWill from Productions², and let's go ahead and get it started. I don't need Realm Grinder on tonight, so hopefully that will. Oh, let me see. Okay, that's OBS doing that. I think it's just going to be laggy on takeoff no matter what. So, you know, I'm not sure that was 64-bit. Well, we'll find out. It'll say on the thing. So last night we had some really interesting times with trying to get back from the moon. We're going to be revising our ship design. I'm going to be adding maybe a double or second or third layer of heat shielding, as well as some batteries for the SAS. And hopefully that will be enough to keep the SAS alive long enough. That's not going to be all stupid once we get back to re-entering. Thanking Steed Crudgeon. Adding K to every word. No, yeah, see, it loads everything every time you load it. God. Already starting. This is what I was talking about, this whole process. If they would just, like, create, like, a cache file that has all the files in it already, or something, that they wouldn't have to load them in like this every time, it'd be better. But, whatever. We can deal with it. Still have some time to wait. Probably about a couple minutes. Maybe not a couple minutes, maybe a minute and a half. Eventually, I'll be getting, I think probably MechJeb. maybe not. I don't know. So yeah, something about being able to land on planetary bodies without using a mod like that. It's like, I don't know, it's different level OG kind of thing. OG in this game's original gamer, not original gangster. Restocking snacks because Jebediah ate them all. Conquering space. Bopping bop. Interesting. Smashing buttons. There's a clicker game, Zombidle. It's kind of interesting. Not only does it allow you to use your mouse to click for, you know, like a clicker, you can also use your keyboard, which is interesting. So literally any key on your keyboard will do the same thing as a mouse click, so you can actually really speed things along with it. Combobulating discombobulator. So now though that discombobulated discombobulators don't discombobulate. Hmm, 6514 patches applied. Not sure what that means. I don't know if that means that's all the files from the mods I have installed, or if that's additional patches to the mods I have installed. So, we're going to be trying to get to Minmus. Or Minmus, getting ahead of myself. We're trying to get to the moon, landing on it, getting back, and hopefully retaining all the science. That way, we can try to go to Minmus. So we need to have the next level up engines. Well, it's two things we need: the next level engines, next level fuel tanks. So you need to have mainsails, and we have to have the Roccos. Just forget about getting the Minmus without this. You probably could, but you'd build something like maybe 3 times the size of what I have now to get to the moon without having that stuff. So it gets pretty pretty unwieldy after a while trying to get to places without having the mainsails and the jumbo Rocco tanks. Alright, load it up. And damn, it is the 32-bit version. Well, we gotta restart. So I don't want to do 32-bit because invariably it crashes because these mods put a lot of memory to use. So we need to go to Steam. I don't know why it doesn't bring this up when you open it from the right-click menu for. It's kind of strange. It doesn't bring up that sub-menu if it has one before it starts it. Now, we might actually have to reload everything, which would really suck. Or will really suck, but it's the joy of modding a game that loads the mods in this way. And yes, it is. Great. Well, it seems a little faster. At least at the moment. I say that, then it slows down. Remembering ladders, yeah. That actually happened once. I made it to Minmus and I was going to do an EVA, and I realized that there were no ladders on the lander section after I gotten out and jumped off it. I'm like, wait a second, there's nothing. So I had to use the EVA suit thrusters to get back up there, and that was interesting. Cause then that caused the rocket to tip over and explode, killing Jebediah and lots of other interesting things. So I decided not to do that again and just went back to Kerbal. Then once you have a ship that you can get somewhere and you're kind of sort of used to landing on stuff, it gets a lot easier to do. The next hardest step is in landing in the same area, close to the same place, to do different things multiple times. Like I can go to the moon and I can land on it maybe 3 out of 7 times successfully. Maybe a little bit more. I'm going to say 3 out of 7 just because. Verifying blast awesomeness. Never visiting dress. Just because it sounds better, I guess, than whatever. But landing in the same place multiple times, I've only done that within a... What was it? I landed down, I think it was like 900 meters away from the target I was aiming at. And then tried to hop my way over there and ran out of fuel and that whole thing I was talking about before. Alright, there we go, 64. Let's drop this down a little bit. Okay, so start, resume, and we want to do the... Yeah, these are all the games I have going at the moment. So yeah, this is the one we were doing yesterday. Alright, so we need to do a couple things. So I wanted to also change the fuel on the landing stage, because if we have more fuel on there, maybe we can control the re-entry more, but maybe we don't need that. Maybe we just need to do more heat shielding. It still doesn't really help the goo canisters from exploding, though, I don't think. Or maybe it will, I don't know. If we get more shielding between the Science Junior and the rest of the thing, it might be able to help a bit. Well, we'll see what happens. Open. We're on MK4? I think so. Yeah. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is I want to move these back up here. I'm just going to put them like that because I don't know where else to put them at the moment. What I want to do now is add the batteries. Electric. We're going to do 4. Put them around the top here. Or around somewhere. Well, we could do it. It'll be on top of things. It won't look very good. I guess I'll put them around the Science Junior. Screw it. Let's just do singular placement. It's going to look weird, but we're not getting out of this anyway, so... We need to add some things over here anyway to kind of balance this out a bit, I think. Alright. Now, oops. Electrical charge. So what does this button do? Turns it on and off, right? So what I want to do is I want to not use 2 of these at the start. I want to save those for when we start re-entering, or at least getting back into Kerbal's orbit. These 2 will have, I mean, you may only need 1 or 2. I don't know how many we actually need. So, well, let's see. What's it use in terms of... Okay, I guess we'll have to look over here. It's underneath this small inline reaction wheel. So it uses 0.3 per second, and I guess this has some power to it. Something in there. Okay, electrical charge, yeah. So this has a 50... Oh, alright, so math. Should have had my phone in here. I guess use my watch. So... At 0.03 a second for 50. I don't care about that. 0.03 divided by 50. Okay, I did that backwards. $50 times 0.03. Okay, that doesn't work either. 50 divided by 0.03. So at 0.03 second drain, it lasts for 1666.666 to infinity seconds. So 1,660, stupid. 1,666 divided by 60. So that's 27 minutes. So by the time we're like starting to get to setting up the orbit for the moon, we've already run out of energy on our command pod for the reaction wheel. Does anything else have energy stored in it? I don't think so. So yeah, well let's see. What are these have 100 in them, right? Yeah. So 27 minutes. That runs out. Well, we're using all these together, so theoretically then 27 times 3, it's like an hour, so... well, we'll see what happens. It should be enough. Let me pull the bottom section off of here. We need to... I want to double up on the heat shield. I thought very, very short amount of time about adding a second Science Junior and thought, nope, not going to do that because this rocket almost barely doesn't get off the ground as it is, so it'd be better to cut our losses a bit. This is already going to impact what we're doing with the extra shielding, and the battery's going to impact the lift a bit. Shouldn't be too bad, though. Now, what I want to do is... I also want to lift this up and put it up here instead. Let me grab this. Oh, and these. Whoops. We need we need to move these so that we're not doing some weird stuff. Okay, that should work. Now they should extend lower than the rocket. So I pull this off for pull this off for a second. And if we extend them, it's like right on it. Damn. Still need to move it down farther. I just don't want them to be like not attached on the bottom section. Somehow. Okay, that'll do. They look kind of funky on the bottom, but as long as the game thinks they can still work, then they can still work. Alright, let's go ahead and reattach this. Staging still looks good. Nothing really changed with that. Okay. So go ahead and save this and let's go ahead and launch it. See if all that extra stuff does weird things to it or not. It shouldn't, but you never know. So wait. Actually, so 50 in that, so that's 2 times 2 for each one of the batteries. And wow. You had some jump in there. Apparently Jebediah's got the dubstep on 11 in the command pod, making the rocket jump all over the place. So this has double the power storage of this. So this is actually the same as 4 command pods. So this will last 27 minutes. These will last for 54 minutes each. So that's like 2 hours. So yeah, I mean, if we keep these inactive, it should be fine. Hell, we could even just take one up and use it specifically for that. But we're gonna use 4 because it's better to overdo things than to underdo them. Unless, of course, the rocket crashes and burns because we have too much weight on it now. I don't think that will happen, but we will find out. No, I don't think it's going to be an issue. About the same speed on the lift, so maybe it's a little bit slower. Tiny bit slower. But from probably the 2 extra heat shields, but I don't think it'll be any significant difference. Actually, it might be a little more stable because we got the wings up higher now. Yep, we got bombs falling all over the place. It's basically what they are now, is bombs. Alright, let's go full thrust. At least until we start accelerating again. Then we can maybe try a turn. So it's kind of trying to do some wobbling around, but the SAS is holding it in place. While we're doing this, I want to see what's because this is still 100 because it's using the well, this isn't using this at all, actually. That is weird. Does this have inherent charge somewhere? There's got to be another source of electricity it's pulling from. These don't generate electricity, do they? I'm pretty sure they don't. Alright, we're starting to accelerate now. I think we're up high enough that we can start turning a bit without going crazy. I'm going to try and get down to the 45-degree angle here. Slowly, because we don't want to send it spinning out of control. So I got plenty of fuel left. In this stage. Okay. Pitch up a bit. Deal with a little bit of a rotation there. .45 degrees. Alright, what's our orbit look like right now? Pretty shallow. 122. Okay. I want to wait till this gets to about 150. Let's get our fuel gauge up here. Apoapsis height 140. $150. Alright, switch back over to stage view. Okay, now it's starting to drain. Yeah. I want to get on that 10-degree mark. I was close to it. I'll start burning at 145. So I'm trying to expand the apoapsis a little bit more, but we're going to try and push out the orbit a bit more, so we can force the periapsis point out. All right, let's go ahead and move down to 0. Focus on just pushing out the orbit. Okay, I need to get back to staging real quick. Oh, wow. We are turning over. Holy crap. Okay, that didn't do what it was supposed to. Or did it? Something flew off. No, yeah, we lost. No, 1, 2, 3. No, yeah. No, we lost it. Crap. Okay, well, what's going on? Let's see. We've totally got problems, but I think we can still work with this. The physics engine decided to do a WTF or something. Let's get realigned to prograde and fix our all right. We may have to try this again. I think we might not have the fuel. I think we need to revert back to launch. We definitely don't have the fuel. All because of that friggin' physics engine glitch. Damn it. Resume revert flight to launch. Happens every once in a while. That one was just really strange. Back on the SAS. Full throttle. Wait for the rocket to settle down a bit. And we'll go. Doing this weird wobbling thing already. It's strange. Okay, Jebediah, turn the dubstep down now so you don't cause parts to go flying off when they're not supposed to. Let me see, is there a problem with the... No. This is all the way it's supposed to be. We jettisoned the 3 boosters. I might have... I don't know, I could... it's possible I double tapped space. It is possible. And wow. Way to go. So we didn't let the... we didn't take the... let the boosters go fast enough, apparently. So we have a rocket where you have to do everything just at the right time. Otherwise it goes to hell. So like right on the edge of what this rocket's able to do in terms of lift, I guess. Well, obviously because we got all these boosters on it. Some sort of weird rocket propelled Triforce thing going on. Alright, full throttle. Yeah, so I think the problem is that if you leave them on a little bit longer than that, they slow you down enough that when you drop them, the friction of the air and gravity against the rocket's enough to make it start flipping out. Like right now, it wants to start trying to, but then we get up into the upper atmosphere, and it kind of evens out because there's less air friction and gravity at this point. Well, less air friction, I guess. Gravity should be the same. Oh, no, yeah. So these come off, but it also disentangles this, which is not correct. When did that happen? Must have been when I detached it at some point. That's what happened. It decoupled this as well instead of not decoupling it. Alright, let's go ahead and start turning. I mean, I had it gone pretty good before. Problem just was the staging was wrong. Should have looked at that a bit closer. Alright, let's just go right for 45 and try and maintain it. Okay. A little bit up. Tiniest bit up. Alright. Should be good. Normally you'd want to do that right after takeoff, but again, these engines just can't do it. Alright. We are aiming at the sun. You actually do have science you can do from around the sun. I did that once. In one of my previous ones, I'd gotten a heliocentric orbit and got, I think it was 1 million kilometers or 1 million meters or a million km, whatever it is. And got like a ton of science from it. Okay, let's go ahead and slow down a little bit. Pitch down some more. Let's just stop right on the prograde. Alright, let's try for 1400 meter a second, then I'll cut the engines. I'll just float for a while. I'll reignite the engines when we get to 140. Let's take a look at what we're doing at here so far. That's not too bad. It's actually pretty good for not having a full 45-degree angle burn from the beginning during the ascent. Okay, 40 now. And we'll stop burning at 16. Alright. So the idea is to try and just burn when we get closer to the apoapsis so we can do more, push it out more, and conserve fuel. Coming up on the separation of these radial engines here in a second. I will cut the main engine for that. Let them drift away so that we can then gently accelerate away so they don't explode. Alright. Okay, we should have an orbit now. Let's go and cut that. Where are we at? Okay, we gotta push it out a little bit more. Need to get at least 150. just enough thrust to get us towards prograde. Actually, it's pretty close right now. So the moon's here. We'll probably be able to intercept it around in here somewhere. So set up a maneuver node here. There we go. Let's try that for now. So let's go ahead and align to the maneuver. Or at least start to. How much fuel do we have in this stage? I was like over half. It's probably about 60%. Maybe 55. Should be enough. Let's bring this out. Stage view. Alright, let's go ahead and warp in right about here. Alright, and burn. It's going to be quite a long burn here. Minute and a half. Again, if these were main cells, it'd be like maybe 25 seconds. If not, if even. Depending on the weight of the ship. Put a main cell on this thing, it would literally explode on the launch pad because we just take off so fast. Okay. About halfway there. Actually, a little more than half. Alright. We're going to use up most of the fuel in this stage getting there, so that's good. Alright. Slow down a bit so we get it just where we want it. It'll be a little different from what the thing was because it took longer to get the... Oh, we also weren't aimed at the target either. That's interesting. It switched over to stability assist instead of over to the maneuver node, but that's fine. Go ahead and warp to there. Get our encounter orbit with the moon and see what we got. Let's see what we had to work with here. All right. So it's going to set a maneuver here, burn retrograde, and bring it in a bit. You could do 4, but whenever you go back to regular time, the time scale doesn't like instantly go down. It kind of wraps down. So ramps down, not wraps. So you actually have some still time enhancement, I guess we'll call it, for a couple of maybe a second and a half. Alright, so it's right on retrograde. That's where it should be. So we get there, I'll throw it back on maybe 2 times for... No, maybe you could do 3 times. Oh, it's actually 5 and 10. And 5 should be enough. Alright. Ready to burn this sucker. We'll have to bring in the apoapsis as well, because we'll want to bring that in so we can swing around and move the periapsis around to the light side. All kinds of weird Kerbal orbit stuff going on there. Okay, wrapping around. Alright. Pretty close. So let's swing over here to the periapsis. Aim at retrograde. Bring in the apoapsis point. I think where we were landing before is on the dark side now. That's good enough, I think, for now. So let's go ahead and warp into... Well, first, let's go ahead and F5. Let's go ahead and warp to there. Switch over to this view. And we'll switch back over to retrograde once we finish warping. Yeah, these batteries are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Keeping the drain down to a minimum. Okay, what's our altitude? Still 90k. Wow. Just got a little ways to go. We got all kinds of fuel in this thing. Jeez. I'm gonna try and just force us to land before we get on all this rocky bits. That goes on for quite a ways. I'm gonna try and land somewhere in here. If possible. Alright, let's go ahead and jettison that. Still pretty far up, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Might have started this a bit too soon. We'll need to kind of watch what's going on. Yeah, those are low enough below it that we're not going to be sitting on the friggin' rocket nozzle, engine nozzle this time. I hope to God we're not going to land right there. It looks like we're kind of heading right for that spot, though. We're going to land just in front of it, maybe. The problem is we get on the edge of that hill. So that's not where I want to go either. Right in between all this crap would be perfect. That looks fairly flat. Alright, let's go ahead and throttle up big time, because I think we're coming in a little bit too fast. Okay, we're going to be right on the edge of that hill right there. Jeez. I think we waited a little bit too long. Ooh, this is not going to be pretty. At all. Nope, 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 nope. We're totally screwed. Revert. Alert to Robinson, revert. Cancel load to quick save 1, 2. What's the 200 and 040? I think this is the one we want. Alright, let's see what goes there. I'll kill it off if I think we're getting too close. That kind of shifted us a little bit. Interesting. Alright, we'll save the rest of that for a little bit later. So about, let's say 15. Actually, we're coming in pretty fast to the ground here. Alright, let's go ahead and knock off all that stuff right now. If we can get right in here, this looks pretty flat. So I'm going to just try and kill off our horizontal right now. I'm going to try and land right in there. Looks like the center of a crater. Okay. Thank you very much. slow it down a bit and let the let our angle kind of adjust here. Anywhere in this area here will be perfect. Just allowing the path to kind of adjust to the vector we're coming in at. It happens a little bit faster if you go faster, but then you have less time to correct the speed for it. Which is why I'm not throwing off this rocket just yet. Seem to be able to kill a lot of that off first. Alright, I think we have killed enough off they'll be able to handle it. With the Terrier. Go ahead and jettison that. Start just burning it pretty heavily here. Yeah, this is a much more mundane speed than earlier. Alright. Again, I don't want to just take forever to land, so this is the fun part. Is by fun I mean chop your hands off. Fun. Trying to stay sort of center gimbal, monitoring the speed, not coming down too fast to the point where you're going to crash into the ground without being able to slow yourself down enough, but not going down, not having the thrust so high that you're actually accelerating in the wrong direction. Okay. Textures around here are kind of messed up. Not sure how flat this is looking now. It looks kind of flat, but we'll see. Alright, slow down again. Or rather, drop throttle again, so we can speed up. It's like a ballet of insanity. I think I said that last night. Ballet of insanity. Trying to land these things. Okay. Another thing is to watch the shadow. This kind of gives you an idea of where you're at in relation to the ground, if you know what you're looking at. This is kind of an interesting spot. It's not quite hilly, but it kind of is at the same time. Oh, perfect. Wow. I've never been able to get it just to the right point to where it's actually maintaining the speed like that. It's not really maintaining it, but it's dropping it very, very slowly. This is going to be one of the softest landings I've ever done. As long as I hit the X and not the Z key when we land. Okay, that's not good. We tilted over. Have to do a little bit of a hop here. I hate doing hops. They're so annoying. No, other way. There. It's like trying to reorient yourself after you jumped out of a plane with no parachute. So that's what happened. The SAS went all crazy. Slow down. No. Okay, if it lands on the fins, maybe it won't tip all the way over. I have no clue what to do with this. To be honest with you, I have no clue. We're on the moon. We tipped over. We didn't explode. And trying to get back up is going to be interesting. I'm not going to F5 it though, because that'll might erase it, and we'll have to see what's going on with that. Let's go ahead and just do our stuff. And assume we're going to be able to get off the ground without destroying the ship into bitty pieces. Which I have done before. Not from this kind of an angle, but like I know it's doable in some cases. Now I want to close the doors. Here we go. Goo pod. And yeah, I think we'll do both of them. Of all of them. If I can find the other... Where's the other... Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Now, let's see. Okay, if we can try and use this hill here. Just slide around on it. Come on. Oh, it almost worked. Okay, come on. Oh, damn. Oh, hey. Oh, crap. Oh, hey, we almost made it. Oh, no, wait. We exploded in a grand ball of fire, and there goes the engine. Landing straight overstressed. Yeah, I think it's overstressed indeed. Okay. Let's go back to our, this one. No flights in progress. So let's just back up on the descent, starting the descent. So the problem was that the place we were at wasn't very good for landing. Like we landed in here or over here or something. I think it was in here. Maybe we can do a normal. Let me see. We can set a maneuver node real quick here. Yeah, anti-normal. We can kind of swivel around a bit and get the periapsis down over here, so we're coming in this way instead of across this way. Less large craters there. Alright, right there. Swing back around to retro. Alright, let's warp to there. And then we'll see about doing some adjustments to figure out where we can get the best placement at. I do want to do I'm going to do a F5 at this point. Granted, that means we're locked into this area of landing, but it's what we have to deal with, so. We're still at, we're at 53. So we stop it right about in here somewhere. Okay. When we get lower now, we should be able to bring it down into right in here somewhere, which is where we kind of want to be. Alright, so that stage is out. And it's flipping around. Okay. And it was definitely flipping around. Thank you a lot, physics engine. This physics engine has screwed me over more times than I can count. Not just on this live stream, but in general. This has to do with the rocket design, though. The rocket's not really designed a very good way. Alright, don't want to lose too much of our momentum going down. So we want to go down a little more quickly than this. We want to try and keep it to some place where we can control it. Like, not like a 400 or something. So our altitude right now is... So we're about... It's like 100 meters shallower than what it says in the... on this up here, I think. Maybe not. Alright, let's go ahead and pull some more off of that. That exploded over there somewhere. Yeah, so it's actually, yeah. This says 4,000, this says 7. So it's actually, we're pretty close. Theoretically, what you want to try and do is get this down to 0, your horizontal speed. But the problem is if you go to 0 too fast, you start speeding up again on the horizontal, going the other direction. So that's kind of the other thing. That's kind of why we start tipping over the other times, is because we didn't really kill off all the horizontal speed. It's really hard to do that properly. Still looks a little bit hilly, but I think we're in some of the less hillier part of it, so got a better chance of landing this time and not tipping over. Our horizontal speed's kind of atrocious, though. Oh, it's millimeters, not meters. Okay. I take that back. It's not so bad. Problem is we don't want to speed it up, which we kind of just did a little bit. Alright, well, we gotta worry about landing now, so. I take that back. We're kind of on a little bit of a hilly part. It's part of landing on a sphere is that there's usually a hill somewhere. Oh, okay, good. I was like, half a second there, I was like, oh god, it's tipping over again. Right, we're on the frickin' moon again. Jebediah is not committing suicide yet, so it's good. Let's go ahead and do all our science. Let's see if we can get back onto Kerbal without blowing up. Let's do another F5. Well, actually, I'll wait till I get all the rest of the science. I'll redo the F5. Should have actually titled this to key press so I could just do it all at once. Zero science? That's interesting. Okay. Still got a little over, we got about 60% of our fuel left, so should be fine. Alright, let's do another F5. Let's start lift off. Start adjusting our trajectory back over this way. Oh, come on, seriously? How could we be running out of fuel? What the hell? This isn't dumping into it. Oh, come on. What the hell? We got 4 tanks here that are not... Oh my god. They're flowing the wrong way. See these arrows? These stupid arrows. They're flowing the wrong way. Oh my god. Isn't there a way to turn... Well, we can't really turn them around. They're just... It's physical attachment. Ugh. Okay. Well, Jebediah, you're just kind of floating in space now. Well, eventually you'll hit the moon again, but crap. You can't revert the flight. Guess we have to wait for us to crash back into the moon before we can revert it. That was interesting. It's not letting us revert. Why not? Let me see. Can I... Well, I can, but we lost those parts now. Lack of recycle space. Material kits. But we can't disconnect. Damn. And we can't revert the flight for some reason. Well, I guess Jebediah is stuck up here on the moon forever. That's fine. He can chill out here. I'll get Valentina or somebody else to do the next flight here. Let's correct this design issue and try this again. What time is it? 12:30. It's not too bad. Thought it was later actually. Load. Actually, let me see real quick. Did we get any sense? Because it's like we couldn't. No, that's interesting though. We tried to do the crew report from that part of the moon. It wouldn't let us do it. As if it had already logged it somehow. Which it obviously hasn't and didn't, so not sure why it did that for. Alright, you frickin' thing. What the hell? It won't let us connect it down there. Maybe that was the problem. It wasn't letting us connect it, so I did the reverse way. Yeah, what the hell? That is so weird. We should be able to connect it from here to there. Let's just go the other way, which is not the right way. Oh, there we go. That was strange. There's 4 of them, so... There we go. Arrows are pointing down, not up this time. It's kind of amazing how a little arrow could totally frack over your trip to the moon. Alright. The POS in this POS rocket was definitely spot on, though. I've had problem after problem with it. Okay. This will get us to the moon, and... Alright, let's actually do this too, so I don't have to keep on doing these individually. Button 2 will control collecting all the sciences. And of course the crew reports. And then also then on these batteries over here on 3, we're gonna enable. Well, actually, that's interesting. Rechargeable battery. There's no action associated with it. So I guess we'll just have to do that manually then. That sucks. I wonder if that's not an action for. Oh well. Oh, and let's go back here and fix that staging issue. Alright, save it. Not gonna have that happen again. Alright. Just wondering if we could do some other things for stability. Alright, let's go give this another whack. So who's the pilot this time? Valentina? Obviously isn't Jebediah. Jebediah is permanently on the moon now. For a while anyway. Yep, Valentina. Maybe eventually we'll do a rescue mission to bring him back. But for now, he's stuck up there. Alright, turn on SAS, full throttle, and let's go. Alright, coming up on booster shut down. A telltale sign that things are going correctly. Large things exploding in the air below you. SAS is holding it in place and wants to turn, but it's not doing it. Barely not doing it. I'm hoping these spins will help in the later stages once we drop these off. And are just using the central to maneuver, and also when we go to this stage so it doesn't start flipping around so much. So I would need the friggin' space tape. I don't think the struts aren't available till later, I think. Advanced construction. Alright, we are now accelerating. Yes. Entering a low carbon orbit. Where's the moon at? There's the sun. It's down around over that way, I think. I want to start throttling down a little bit. So we can maintain our acceleration a bit, yeah. Let's go and start inching over towards 45. I'll try and do it a bit earlier this time. Hopefully the thing doesn't freak out. If we can try and conserve some fuel though by getting the trajectory set up before a little bit earlier on, we'll get a faster orbit that way. Alright. Back up to full throttle. A little bit of a turn there. Rotation, I guess. Back on the gimbal line. Alright. Alright. Liquid boosters are almost done. Throttle down a little bit to put us more at an angle here. I'll try and get down to 30 this time. Slowly, so we don't scratch the paint. Alright, now let's try and fix our positioning on the gimbal here. Okay, up a little bit more there. So up, this is actually 200K now. It's pretty high up. Let's go ahead and try and get down to the 0 degree marker here. So we actually have, oh, those are the batteries, never mind. Alright, those are the ones we have shut off. Okay. Switch over to system view. Okay, there's the moon over there. And Jebediah landed. 5 degrees, 3 feet 57 inches south by 86 degrees, 53 inches 40 or 53 feet 40 inches west. Interesting. SAS wants to correct back towards prograde. Let's try and keep it at where it's at to try and draw prograde back down. That's where we're at. All right. So now we just sit here and wait for the periapsis to pop out. And then we can try and set up a trajectory to the moon. Alright, we got some kind of an orbit going now. It's actually a re-entry orbit. This gets to about 125. It's a stable orbit. Alright, just going to shut down the engine, and so the moon's here now. Right in here, probably. So, actually, it's probably right where I'm at now, so we'll have to do a spin it. Well, if we have to spin around, it's going to be double. So it might actually end up over here somewhere by that time. Or maybe we can just meet it by doing that. Whoops. Yikes. Just trying to... Oh, wow. Okay, let's fix this. Alright. Pretty close to the maneuver node, so it'll take too long to get there. 2-minute burn. Great. Another huge burn. Again, the joys of not having a mainsail. Alright. Time for our... Oh, we're actually not quite there yet. That's fine. Alright, let's see if we can't get this trajectory established here. Gonna take a while. If I thought I could get away with putting another three external booster, liquid boosters on here, on this rocket, I'd do it, because it really use them right about now. The extra thrust, anyway. Again, it'll all be, if I can get back from the moon, it'll all be moot, because it should be able to get up to main sails at that point. But maybe or maybe not also get the rocket max fuel tanks. Alright, good enough. Once again, it jumped off the maneuver node for some reason. Doesn't really matter too much. Okay, so back to the moon. We're going to try and do everything at the same time here. I'm going to try and bring this in for a landing. I'm not too far away from, actually kind of on a similar trajectory as Jebediah was. Oops, this one. This is, okay, here's where we're coming in before. This is that same area as before. Yesterday we were trying to come in at. Same general area. If we could try landing in this crater, it might be better off. Well, we'll go ahead with that and see what we can make with it. What we can do with it, rather. So up to there. Let's start moving to the maneuver node. So have you ever seen estimated burn 0? Burn for a little bit, like at about 30 seconds, and it should kind of rejigger itself and actually show you what you need to do. Need to fast forward a bit here. Alright, so about a 6-second burn. Not quite 6 seconds, a little more than that. Alright, so let's go ahead and watch what's happening over here. Okay, we have an orbit. That is pretty damn close. Alright. So, let's go ahead and F5 it from this point. So if we can change it if we want to. I'm gonna warp into, yeah, up into right about here. Go ahead and switch to our other view. Get this aligned for retrograde. Actually, this stage is almost out of fuel, which is good. I'll go ahead and use it to try and slow us down to sub 500 meter a second. Actually, we probably won't be enough fuel to do that, but still. Oh, actually, no, it probably will be. So if we land right in here somewhere, that'd be really good. Well, let's run these till they die here. There it is again. Once they run out of fuel, they just go frickin' mad. So weird. Alright, next stage is lit. Let's go ahead and try and... So I'm going to try and drop it right down into here somewhere. So I'm going to cut all that horizontal speed out right now. Alright. Just want to try and arc it right down into here somewhere. Okay. So we'll let the moon's gravity take us down for a bit. If we get above 150, we'll turn the engine back on and drop off some of the velocity again. We're still pretty far up though. Well, kind of, I guess. This might get more accurate as we get closer. I don't want to come down in there, which is where it looks like we're kind of heading on the edge of it. In this flat part here, yeah, that'd be awesome, but it's looking like we're heading right for this ridge, which is what I don't want. Or behind it either. It's kind of a hilly area there. I'd rather land in here or in here somewhere. So once you get to a certain point, you probably want to switch from retrograde to stabilization, because once you get to a certain distance, retrograde will flip around to prograde. When you get kind of close to the surface. Which is why it also was kind of flipping around a bit. Enough to knock us over. So let's go ahead and disconnect that stage. It's pretty much out of fuel anyway, so we'll use that as kind of a guide as well. See where it's gonna. Looks like it's gonna land right straight down. Great. Hopefully it doesn't land right where we're gonna land at, because that'll be interesting. If we have some stuff floating around there, we better not land in this junk. Like in the middle of it, maybe, but it's like really kind of hilly. It's like a small crater or something. Looks like we're going right on the front edge of it, which could be pretty hilly right there. So yeah, we got about 2,300 meters to go. Boom. Okay, we actually managed to get it to a little bit more. Well, I don't know if it's better or worse. We might be on the side of this hill now instead of more over in this area, which is a little bit flatter. We'll have to see. As long as we come down at the appropriate speed, we should be able to not flip over. Well, I don't know. We got this extra weight on the side now. Oh wow, we're coming down a little fast. Are we going to land on top of that rock? Next to it, I guess. You can also limit the thrust output on these engines if you wanted to. It's like a specific value. So even if you want, so if you got to 100, that's where the limit is. So like if I wanted to limit it to a third, 100% would be the full third. It just gives you a more granular control. That's more for when you start landing structures on the moon, where you want to have more pinpoint accuracy, or any other body, I guess, like building a base. We have landed. Oh wow, that's like right on the very edge of a slope, but we're on a flat section. Awesome. And look at all the fuel we have now that we have this thing set up correctly. Perfect. Alright, 2. So I'll go ahead and keep all this. Do an F5. And we are off. See you later, Jebediah. We'll come back for you eventually. Alright, there's Kerbal. Just gonna point it towards it a bit. See if we can't pull the prograde down to where we're at. Okay. We're on either edge of the dark side of the moon here. It's interesting. Try and get an orbit set up so we can start our trip back to Kerbal. Actually, don't even need to orbit. We just need to get this far enough away that we can set one up and get it ready. So, add a maneuver. Well, I definitely do not want to. Where is that? It's actually, what is that? That green is Minimus, isn't it? Oh, wow. Whoops. All right. Alright, all we gotta do now is just wait to end up on... Oh. Probably get a couple of weird things going on once we get towards the end here. Okay. So, I guess we can just burn prograde from here. Or retrograde, I mean, from here. I don't know if we need to wait for apoapsis or not. It should spin things around as we're doing it. Just to be sure that I'm going to do a quick save. All this friggin'... there have been so many encounters with the moon. I mean, jeez. Wait, what? Okay, I think that's not working right. Load our quick save. I do think we need to wait. We need to go over to apoapsis. Or at least away from the friggin' moon here. Warp over to there. Alright, let's go ahead and burn retro from here. Oh my god. We're back to this again. We still have an electrical charge, so that's a bonus. But we can't disconnect that stage though. Crap. Alright, load save, this one, go. So we gotta try and get there much faster than what we're doing. In other words, we can't spend 5 days warping around. Okay. See what we can do with this. Is there a way we can turn that off? Allow reverting flights, quick loading, missing crew respawn. Where in the hell's the part that says... So it's not an option we can turn off, maybe. So the main issue is we bring this in too far and we end up in some sort of craziness with the moon getting in the way of the apoapsis node. Which is what happens there. So back to prograde. So that's still 2 days. Okay, retrograde. If we just pull it in from here, it won't be so much a problem. Well, still, we're going to pass over around the orbit, I think, of the moon again. So maybe we could do a normal or an anti-normal or something. To break orbit from the moon there. Okay, there. Now it shouldn't be an issue. Oh, damn. Actually did intercept it again. Briefly. On somewhere. Not sure where. Okay. The idea is to try and make this a little more circular so we're not hitting the atmosphere at such a steep angle. Alright. So I think this is where we're going to do another save. And go ahead and try our luck at re-entering now. go ahead and turn these on. What's bad is that's going to explode right on top of us. Potentially. Slow down. Come on. Heat, go down. Go down. Go frickin' down. Nah, we're getting really close. Wow. If nothing explodes, I will be amazed. We're like on, oh my god, the borderline on a lot of these things just not working. Wow. They got the angle of descent just right, I think. Now we gotta deal with the friggin' engine not still being attached. As long as that doesn't blow up, then good. Perfect. Jesus Christ. Okay. We are going to survive it this time with everything intact. Damn. You have to get the reentry just right to do it without radiator panels. And it's like almost no margin for error. That was actually kind of a stupid thing I did, taking that off, but that kind of helped a bit. It slowed us down enough that we didn't lose anything. Holy crap. Okay. Eventually the chutes will come out. Let's go ahead and trigger them right now. And we just do 4 all the way down. Wow. Finally. Five days, 5 hours. Well, 5 days, 6 hours probably by the time we finally get down to the ocean. I always thought Valentino was a better pilot than Jebediah. Because all the stuff, the crazy crap I pulled off was always with Valentino. Because Jebediah had died on the moon very early on in the last walkthrough. And we have Splashdown. And every bloody thing survived. That's going to be a lot of science. At least 200. Maybe 250. $250, yeah. So actually, it's probably enough to get us everything. Well, no, it's 190 or 160. 160. We got 360 and 360. So 280. No, we do. We have enough to give us. Frack. No, yeah. Okay, never mind. It's on. Oh, but we have to have this too to be able to get these. Crap. Well, we got the mainsails. 90 and 1. Yeah, we need more than that. Let me see if we can get some other. Let's see, recycling module. Observe materials. Okay, that's a different science junior though. So, oh, container. Okay. Space exploration. Log radio plasma wave. Carried on jetpack. Deploy it and use while in low to high orbit. So that's a science item there. It's a hitchhiker. So that's another 90 though. So what's this one? This is the propulsion systems. Okay, so that's more of like, that's more for orbital placement of things, which we don't need, but we need to unlock it eventually for the other thing. So it was underneath this? No. This. No, it was electrics. No, it wasn't electrics. Where the hell were you? Oh, there was this. So this is what, 90? And this would be 90. Damn. Radial airbag. I think we might have, let's see. If we get this, we can do, of course it would take so much to actually do it. Let me see, field, do we have any Rocco size stuff in here? Not sure. It's a cryo tank. Yeah, we do have a Rocco Max fuel tank. It's just not the jumbo one. Okay. So we could do that with this advanced construction to do these adapters. So what I'm thinking is what I'm thinking of doing is actually doing something to get to Minimus and doing a bunch of research that aren't coming back. So if we do that, we're going to get at least 300 or something research just from being around orbit of Minimus and doing that stuff and coming back, which will definitely allow us to get a bunch of this other technology out of the way. But to do that, we have to be able to use main sails. There's just no other way to get to Minimus easily. So we have to do this, I think. If I wanted to, then maybe we could do something out of here. No, we'd better keep the research we have. Alright, so we're going to go build the Mk5 POS rocket. Alright, so... Well, untitled, let's go to new. Or cancel. Oh, we have to put down the pod first, yeah. POS rockets, Mk5. Some BS thing in there. Alright, so. Basic setup that we had before. We are going to use the other... this one now, this inline stabilizer, because we're gonna need that now. We're gonna use the other thing. We'll need those probably too. Where is utility? That's where it's at. Somewhere here. Where are you there? Along with our guys here. We'll do 3. Okay, see now. So for the return stage, well, the re-entry stage. We're gonna have to have. Well, we're gonna need a science junior. Let's do 2 science juniors on this one, so we'll be able to lift it for sure. We don't have structural. Do we have? Yes, we do have tape. Yes, space tape. You don't necessarily need to do it this way, but I am doing it this way. Oh, come on. Don't be a pansy. Attach already the correct way. So one of these attached correctly. 2 of them did. This one didn't. I don't know. Space tape is strange like that. So that'll keep those together, even though technically you don't really need it, but maybe for whatever reason we should have it. We're going to have it. Next, we're going to do the heat shields. Now, see, this says it has a fairing, but interesting, you can jettison the heat shield. Whatever, I guess we don't have access to the fairing yet. We are going to want to do radiator panels, though. We'll do... Oh, it's an edge panel. I want to do one of these. 2. Actually, let's do large. That way they'll cover the entire side of this. We are going to want to put some batteries in. And like last time, we will want to disable 2 of them. Alright, next we want to do our other science stuff. Alright, scan radar. Okay. So let's go ahead and do a triple heat shield again. Alright, so that's our return. Well, it's the re-entry stage. Now the re-entry burn stage. Oh, we do have the fairing, never mind. The fairing is available. Should still probably put it on a decoupler though. Or below a decoupler. Alright. Alright, so we got our fairing, which is going to help us stay more aerodynamic on the way up, so less air friction. Let's lift this up a bit. Okay, so now for this, we want to do and probably would want to do an overkill tank and a that made cells too big. Reliant's the biggest engine that fits these size of things. So that's going to be our going to be that. We also want to do a. Let me pull this off real quick. We want to do an interstage with a monopropellant tank. Or maybe we'll just... I don't think we have access to the actual monopropellant tanks that will fit the way I want it to. So we'll just attach a couple of these. Maybe four of them, I think. And it'll just feed into the thrusters. Or we can put the thrusters on top of those, maybe. So we're going to have RCS on this. Alright. Now we want to do a decoupler. And we're going to do an adapter. Where are all those things? Here we go. So, yeah. Alright, then we do have some Rockomax fuel canisters. About 4 should do. Then I'm going to put a main cell on the bottom. Next, we want to do a radial decoupler. A TT70 radial decoupler. Switch it back down to 1. And on these, we're going to put on these twin bores. Well, first, actually pull this off. Create a copy. Well, I'll have to do a move. Okay. Oops. Take those bottom off, 2 off, stick that on there. We should have the Rocco max size nose cone now. Yeah. Okay, what else do we need to do? So this is a solid. No, it's liquid fuel, okay. Let's go ahead and asparagus stage. Well, first let's go ahead and triple this up. And then we can do all the other stuff. So, fuel. Arrows are going the correct direction. Yep. And then need to do some space taping. Where are you, struts? There you are. Should be good enough. Okay, and then just gonna put these on. Okay, and again, as a point of reference, we need to set up our actions here. So custom 1 will be to, actually custom 2 will be to activate the radiators. Custom 1's going to be all the research. Okay. So now we need to work on the staging here. Let's see. Okay. That's fine. Fairing should come up pretty soon, actually. So these go, once those go, these fire, so actually should go there. And this should fire as well. These will disconnect eventually, then this will disconnect. Then this will fire. Then that will disconnect. And then we have the rest of it. Now the fairing should probably go in here. Alright, save. Let's go and do a test launch, see what happens with this. And we'll see if we can, well, if it works the first time and gets up to orbit, we'll try to go for Mimus. If not, then I'll save that for the next time. Okay, SAS and RCS. Well, let's leave RCS off for now. Alright, we're up in the upper atmosphere. Fuel's getting a bit low. Might want to actually add in a few more tanks. Drop our throttle down a bit so we're not using quite so much. Alright, so we can shut them off now. Our apoapsis height is now 142k meters. Let's go ahead and start. Let's turn RCS. All right. Don't need the fairing anymore. This is entirely on the main sail right now. Switch out to our system view. So to get to Minmus, what we have to do is we have to first establish an orbit, then we have to tilt the plane of the orbit using anti-normal or normal burn to match the orbit of Minmus, and then apoapsis, send out the apoapsis point to meet the orbit of Minmus. So like I said, it's much easier to get up with mainsails and the twin bores too. I probably could have done a turn right off the launch pad, but I didn't want to push it too much. Alright, stable orbit, so that's all we need for right now. Turn off the RCS. So now we have to match our inclinations. First we're going to set Minmus as a target. And now we need to grab, we need to do we had to do either ascending or descending. We're going to do it on the descending node. Put a maneuver there. We want to try and get this descending node angle degree as close to 0 as possible. Other direction. You won't usually be able to get to 0. You'll get it to some point, and then it'll start going back up again. I just want to get it somewhere between 0.5 and 0.6, usually. That's your best bet. We'll try there. Let's go ahead and warp to our maneuver node. Hopefully we have enough fuel. So one thing I'm worried about is if we have enough fuel or not to actually make it to Minmus. Because we actually need the main sail to generate the thrust to break out of orbit and set up that intercept orbit with Minmus. The Reliant's not going to cut it. Sorry, Con, but your engines are too weak. Alright, so coming up on our maneuver node there. We need to do a slight burn so we can get the proper timing as we get there. I'm going to turn RCS off. I'm going to try and save as much of the amount of propellant as possible. Alright. Pretty good. Now if we put a maneuver point about right here. Might have to go further out. Yeah, so like over here somewhere. I think that's the sun. Some maneuver point with the sun, yeah. Close. It's definitely going this way. Maybe it has to be closer. That's like way too close. Way too far, I mean, rather. Let's get we're at the sun at that point, which you don't want to be. And this is a little bit trickier to get to. Maybe we need to go further down. Let's try that. That's a moon orbit. We don't want mooner. There we go, moonless. Wow, that is a very short time for adjusting. Wow, we just like totally. I don't know. It's just like we were really. I don't know. That just kind of really messes up the. So I'm not trying to fiddle with it a bit to get the... Well, we'll have to deal with it. No clue if these engines... We've got enough fuel left for the engines to do what they need to do. Hopefully. Turn the RCS on. Use the RCS instead of the engines to get us to where we need to go. That way we save fuel. Alright, mainsail, don't fail me now. Oh crap, we went too far. Well, we can still readjust. We aren't totally fracked just yet. So, minus encounter. After that, we don't see potential escape. Well, because that's right. We're looking at the actual path now, not the maneuver projected path. God, we're gonna end up in the moon too. I'll give Jebediah a flyby, I suppose. Alright, we gotta get rid of this. Get rid of that now. Alright, well, it'll probably stop us when we get near the... Yeah, we can't move so far. Let's warp to the moon encounter. And then assuming we do nothing with the moon, it should keep us on the right path. Yeah. Okay, so it's going to warp over to here. Oh wow, the angle's not quite right, is it? We're gonna have to do a lot of jiggering to get around Minmus there. Wait, no crew control? What the hell happened? Oh my god. I'm gonna go look and see how I can disable that stupid BS thing. Alright, let's go ahead and just refer back. So we can get over here, I just don't know if we have the fuel to do all the stuff we need to. Just need to add another, probably another one of these cans to each one of these, so just move it down a thing. And then disable that damned annoying BS crew stopping doing what they're supposed to be doing. But that's gonna be it for this live stream. Thanks for checking it out if you watched it live. If you're watching on YouTube after the fact, feel free to leave any comments below, and we'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time. I might actually do another one of these tomorrow. I'm not sure, or I might do SO3 tomorrow. I'll have to wait and see because I have no clue which I'm going to do. It'll be one of them though, one or the other. But until next time, this is GeoWill, and I will see you later. Let's see, control.